Alright, so we're gonna write a program. So pretty much it's gonna be a subtraction quiz where we randomly generate two numbers from 1 to 100, subtract them to, and then we ask the user to answer for us. And we're gonna do like 10 questions. And then at the end, we're gonna display our final result and the amount of time it took to actually do this quiz. So we'll just start by doing int number of questions, and we'll have this equal to 10. We want 10 questions. Let's make this a constant so it's not changeable. Now what are we going to do next? Next, we're going to do our correct count of questions, the amount of questions we got correct, and then int uh, our current questions, our current question. Okay, so this is going to keep track of what question we're currently on. Now we're going to do this. We're going to do collect our current time. So this time, so let's call it start time. It'll be equal to system.current time millis. This gives you the total time in milliseconds from now, from 1970, January 1st, 1970 to now in milliseconds. But we'll get back to that later. And then let's do a string. The string will be called string output. All right. And here we're going to display all our final result. Now let's set up our scanner. Scanner equals new scanner system.in. All right. Now we're going to do a while loop. We're going to check if our current question is less than our number of questions. All right. If this remains true, then we're going to execute the code inside it. So first, let's generate our number. So let's call this number 1. Let's declare int here. So because when we use the random function, it's going to give us a double. So we're going to put an int at the beginning to force it to turn into an integer. Times it by 100, as this gives you the value, randomly generated number from 0 to 1, almost 1. And then if we times it by 100, it's going to be from 0 to almost 100. So like 99.999, that so on. So, and then when we force it to come to an end, it rounds it down. So what we're going to do is add this all. Hold on. Whoops. What I'm going to do is add 1 to at the end. So it's going to be from 1 to 100. And we do the same for num2. Oh wait, I forgot to put a colon here. There you go. Now what we're going to do next is go and do an if statement. I want num1 to be greater than num2 because I don't want any negative values. So if num2 happens to be greater, I will do the following. I'll do a placeholder, and this placeholder will be equal to num2. Then I'm going to have num2 equal num1. And then I'll have num1 equal the placeholder. All right, so this pretty much swaps the two values we have. Now I'm going to do a print statement. What is num1 minus num2 equal to? And let me do a print instead of print line. Now I'll do int answer equals scanner dot next int. All right. Now I'm going to do another if statement. If num1 minus num2 is equal to my answer, I'm going to do you are correct. And then I'm going to increase the correct count. However, if this is not the case, then I'm going to do you are wrong. And also display out what the correct answer should be. So I'll do just copy this part. Plus, and here I'll display what num1 minus num2 is equal to actually. There you go. So this will return in the correct value, and it'll display here. Now, at the end of after we execute all that, we're going to increase our questions count. Hold on. What did I call it? I can't remember what I called it. I call it current questions. Okay. So I'm going to take my current questions, increase it by 1. So, and then after that, I'm going to put everything we just went through, all of that, and put in the output string. So this is what I'm going to put in. First, let me move it to the next line, and then I'm going to do num1 plus, sorry, minus num2 is equal to our answer. And then I'm going to check if this is true. So like if I had like 5 minus 2 equals 0, at the end here, I'm going to display if this is true or not. So I'm going to add a colon here, plus num1 minus num2 equals answer. And this returns in a true or false. Oh wait, hold on. There we go. All right, so this will return in either a true or a false value. And that will be it for our while loop. And now let's get out. Okay, so let me explain this one. So after we're done executing all of this code, what I'm going to do here is increase the question count by 1. So now current question goes from 0 to 1, and it's still with less than 10 questions. So so that pretty much allows this while loop to run 10 times. Now at the end, I'll do, let's focus on our time. Where was our time here? Let's focus on this. Let's copy this again, and let's call it end time. And now we can get our total time. So our total time will be equal to our end time minus our start time. All right. So pretty much when this line of code executed, it gave us the milliseconds from 1970 to now. And then as we were continuing executing all of this, obviously some more milliseconds pass. So that gets stored in here. Then we find the difference, and that gives you the total time it took us to do this entire quiz. And then finally, at the very end, we'll do a print statement. This will be pretty much a summary of everything. So correct count. So here we're going to see how many questions we got correct. Hold on, let me move everything to the next line. There. Plus total time. And here will be our total time plus our output. All right. So here it's going to display our output. Okay. So after every loop, all our values get stored into this loop, and this pretty much includes the last value as well. So that should be it. Oh yeah, and close the scanner at the end. Hold on. Scanner.close. There we go. All right, now this should work. Let's run this code. $83 minus 76, that gives me 7. You are correct. Now 86 minus 81, that gives you 5. Now let's get a wrong one. Let's call this one 6. You are wrong. And we got the right answer down here. Now 56 minus 43, that gives you 13. Let me do 14. All right. 57 minus 26, that's 31. You are correct. That's 60. You are correct. That's 7. You are wrong. That's 2. You are wrong. That's 4. You're wrong. That's 10, right? You're wrong. All right. Let me expand this up. All right. Let's see what we have. So after we execute all of this, we're gonna get our final like output. Oh wait, total time is wrong. Oh, I see what I did wrong. Okay. So total, this is the time in milliseconds. I want the time in seconds. So I will divide total time by 1000 and I'll do total time seconds, okay? First, we'll get back to that one later, but let's focus on what we have right now. All right. So let's see. So here we get all our correct. Let's wait, what's this? Hmm. Hold on, this displayed 2 times. All right, wait, let me run this code one more time. All right, let's try this again. All right, that's 1. All right, there we go. So we only got one question right. Our total time was 12 seconds. And here it shows a summary of everything. So we got 9 false. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 1 true. So this pretty much gives us a correct summary of our quiz. And it took us 12 seconds to solve it.